What's going on, guys? It is the Coaster Battleman here, bringing you an awesome video, the top 5 roller coasters at Indiana Beach. This park is in Monticello, Indiana, and they have for a small park, the roller coaster collection is actually pretty decent. They have some pretty solid coasters, and unfortunately, when I went here for the first time, which was awesome, I got to come here for the first time. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to Cedar Point like I was planning to, and I got sick, and then yeah. But then recovered. Now I got to try out Indiana Beach. It's about 2 hours away from my house. So yeah, we're moving on to the top 5 roller coasters at Indiana Beach. And unfortunately, when I was here, I couldn't ride the Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain, which is one less credit for me to call out. But other than that, I got all the major roller coasters, so let's move on to the countdown, and I am including the Super Loop. I do count Super Loops as roller coasters. Number 5 is Hoosier Hurricane. In the front row, this coaster isn't that bad, but when you're in like any other row, it's pretty rough. Like, I got to ride this coaster twice. Front row was pretty fun. I mean, there wasn't really any airtime, but the drop just seemed a little better, and it was cool. Like, you felt like you were going to dive into the water. That was something cool I found on Hoosier Hurricane. When you're on the drop, you feel like you're going to fall into the water. And then, yeah, there's some nice airtime hills, even though they don't really give any airtime. And unfortunately, if you're in towards the back or even in the middle rows, this is a pretty rough ride experience. But if you're in the front row, this coaster isn't really a rough ride. And it really depends on what seat you're in to have an enjoyable ride. Number 4 is Tig'rr, and this is a pretty cool steel coaster from Schwarzkopf. This coaster was built in the 1980s, and it's a classic. Definitely an iconic steel coaster and a pretty rare Schwarzkopf coaster, as unfortunately has a pretty stupid height restriction of 54 inches, and it's not really that tall or that fast. But still, I really did enjoy this coaster after riding it only once. It had a pretty fun first drop, some pretty cool turns, and overall, I thought it was pretty solid. Pretty smooth for its age, and overall not bad. I thought it was pretty fun. Now we're getting into the top 3, and number 3 is Cornball Express, the coaster that was voted the best wooden roller coaster in 2002. And at one point, this was the top wooden coaster in the world. I don't understand that, but Cornball Express, it's pretty small, but it does pack a nice punch into its ride. It has a pretty cool curved drop, some decent airtime moments, and overall, it's a very fun coaster, and it just winds around the park and just like surrounds other rides like Tig'rr. And it's pretty cool how they managed to fit this coaster and Hoosier Hurricane next to each other. And that's what I like about this park, how compact it is and how they managed to fit so many attractions into this small space. And Cornball Express, in the front row, I really did enjoy this coaster in the front row. Very fun first drop, and I thought it was pretty smooth ride experience in the front. And in the back row, it is a bit rougher. But the good news is I got to try it out in the front and the back, so I know what to expect for next time I ever go. Number 2 is Zero G, and this is, wow, a very fun super loop. And yeah, everyone says these aren't roller coasters, but I consider them coasters because they're on a track and there is a train. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty enjoyable experience. The hang time is insane. Like, you're just hanging there. It's amazing. I really do enjoy this ride. Very good hang time. And overall, it really does give you the feeling of weightlessness. Even though this ride doesn't seem like much on paper, it's very fun. But what is the number one ride at this place? Steel Hawg is. And what a coaster. This is definitely one of the best coasters I've ridden, period. This is just an awesome coaster, and I've never experienced anything like this before. I've probably the closest ride I've experienced this would be Fahrenheit or a B&M wing coaster because of that wing over drop. There's two insane inversions that deliver some of the most insane hang time that you'll ever find on any coaster. It's just amazing. There's some very wonky turns that are very cool. The first drop is insane, and at one point was the steepest drop in the United States at 111 degrees. But unfortunately now it's not as steep as the first drop on Cannibal at Lagoon, which is an insane coaster itself. But Steel Hawg, very fun coaster. The lift hill is super fast too. That's something I noticed on this. Very fun. And the inversions are the definition of some of my favorites on any coaster. This is just an awesome ride. Even though it's super compact, it just packs a punch. The drop is amazing. Inversions, amazing. Smoothness wise, not the worst. It is kind of rattly, but it's still pretty smooth, and probably my only complaint with this coaster is that it is kind of rattly and the restraint system isn't the greatest. But other than that, this is an awesome coaster and is a hang time machine. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. And that was my top 5 roller coasters at Indiana Beach. I hope you guys enjoyed. And that was my new park that I got to go to this summer. Yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.